Google search. When was the Nintendo Switch released? March? March, May, June, July?
March, May, June, July?
March. April, May, June, July. Oh, got it. What's up, guys? The Switch is just over 6 months old now, and we just got a whole whack of new information about games coming out in the future for the Switch from the last Nintendo Direct. I'm pretty excited for what's coming down the pipeline, but there's always going to be those games that you kind of wish would come out, but probably just never will. So here's a list of my top 8 games that I want to see on the Nintendo Switch that probably will never happen. I'm going to rank these from least likely to most likely, even though a couple of these will just absolutely never happen. Ape Escape is such a unique, fun, and colorful series, it feels like it would fit right alongside Mario, Kirby, and the whole Nintendo gang. The whole premise of the game is to catch monkeys that are running around causing chaos and wiping their asses with towels. Ape Escape has a super unique control scheme that I think could be vastly improved upon with the Joy-Con's gyro capabilities. Instead of flicking the right stick to catch monkeys, you can instead point the right stick in the direction you need and swing the Joy-Con to swing your net. I think Ape Escape would be a great fit for the Switch and Nintendo as a whole. But the real issue is all the rights are held by Sony Entertainment, so even in my wildest dreams, Ape Escape for the Switch would never happen. And let's face it, I think I'm the only one that would want this in the first place. The World Ends With You is one of my all-time favorite games. Way back in 2008, when my little emo self found this game sitting on a shelf at EB Games, I knew it was meant to be. Actually though, this was one of those games that you pick up and you think, might as well give it a try, and then you end up really loving it in the end. I resonated really well with the art style of the game as a whole, and I absolutely loved the combat. I even at one point wanted to change my whole look to be like Neku, but thankfully I wasn't really an emo kid and was just a tryhard and quickly grew out of that phase. About the combat though, it was a really unique take on an action RPG, giving you pins that allowed you to use different abilities by tapping and sliding your stylus along the touchscreen. You could make a set of these pins so that you could find the best combos to fit your playstyle, and with pin drop rates and certain enemies that gave you certain pins, there was lots of ways to keep you grinding. I usually hate grinding, but this game made me want to grind for these good pin drops. I spent hours on one of the final bosses for the pin that would do 999 damage in one single-use massive laser beam. I just really wish this game got more credit because as far as I know, it flew pretty under the radar. Now there's 2 reasons this will never happen. For one, they already released an iOS and Android remaster back in 2012 and 2014 respectively, and I feel like that was the most they're going to give the fans of the series. And second, it would have to be a handheld only game considering it needs the use of the touchscreen, which isn't super far-fetched. There's already one game in the eShop that is handheld only, but the whole point of the Switch was to bring the handheld and console markets together, and a remake or a sequel of this game would just kind of defeat the entire purpose of the Switch. Considering the rumor that FromSoft got a version of Dark Souls 3 running, it might not be too far-fetched to get a version for the Switch, but a rumor's a rumor, and I really don't think there's a very high chance of it happening. I don't really have a good reason for why it should be on the Switch, other than it would be great to have this game available to play on the go. It's just such a dark, challenging game, and it could do the Switch some good to round out its library and have some contrast to all the bright, happy, fun games Nintendo offers. Not to mention, I love it, and I want to play it forever, but like, PlayStation, man. Just kidding, I like Sony, it's actually Xbox that sucks. Continuing on the topic of darker games on Nintendo's happy console, I think Zombie U or a sequel would be well received on the Switch. Zombie U had some super great elements and was a legit scary-ass zombie game that made you really think about the choices you were making and tread cautiously throughout the game. Having disposable characters made it so that if you died and lost all of your stuff, you would start again back at the base and were left with a few bullets and a cricket bat unless you could find your old corpse and get your supplies back. And the zombies weren't easy either. Getting stuck fighting even 2 was often a challenge, and I died many times from zombies coming at me in 2 different directions when I wasn't expecting it. They cut all the bull and made the game all about the survival and the zombies without muddling it up with plot or character development, and at no point did you ever get OP. You always had to be careful and preserve your supplies or you'd be left dead. It was a game about survival, and I think it worked really well. I would want to see some more variety in melee weaponry, but I really don't have a lot of gripes about Zombie U. The only real complaint I have is how many hits it would take the cricket bat to actually kill a zombie. I mean, I get it, human skulls are pretty thick, but I have no doubt I could knock a zombie's rotting head off in like 3 swings or less.
It's a wee Wario!
If you don't think this next game is a perfect fit for the Switch, then you're wrong, and I'm right, na boo boo, stick your head in doo-doo. A brand new Wario Ware game on the Switch would be amazing. Get that 1-2 switch crap out of here and give us a WarioWare game with some legit multiplayer options and wacky microgames that use the Joy-Cons to their full potential. Remember WarioWare Twisted for the Game Boy Advance? The cartridge literally had a gyroscope built in and brought us some of the best microgames in the series. And WarioWare Shake It for the Wii made great use of the Wiimote, and the Joy-Cons work even better than the Wiimotes ever did. Imagine all the crazy things they could come up with using the Joy-Cons, not to mention how easy it would be to pass the Joy-Cons off and play some multiplayer. Unfortunately, I feel like Game & Wario was kind of the death of this series, and I don't think Nintendo really wants to revisit WarioWare. But I really hope I'm wrong because this could turn out to be a fantastic game.
Tomorrow's mine.
It was so unfair that Bayonetta 2 got stuck on an unpopular dying console because Bayonetta deserves a lot more than she got. Bayonetta 2 took everything good about the first one and just made it even better and shoved it in your face. The sass was real, the monsters and battles were crazier than ever, Bayonetta was hot, and the combat was just, it was so well designed. I don't think Bayonetta was in any way underrated. It was pretty well received. I mean, she got into Smash, so people must have liked it. The big problem was no one played it because no one had a Wii U. A port of Bayonetta 2, I feel somewhat realistic, but I'd honestly prefer just a third game in the series. Bring everything back up to 11 notches and give her the stage she really truly deserves. And really, after Smash, everybody knows who she is now, so it almost seems like a no-brainer. Unless Nintendo wants to play a massive prank on all the Switch owners out there, it's almost guaranteed we're going to get a Virtual Console or something similar. And with Pokemon Gold and Silver finally coming to Virtual Console, I'd really hope that whenever the Switch version happens, these two games come along with it. Pokemon Gold was the first game I ever played, and after my dog ate it, I played Silver after, which I still have to this day. I mean, I'm happy they're coming to the 3DS, but I'd way rather play games on my Switch. A huge selling point for me was the expandable storage, meaning I could have my entire Nintendo library of games on the go on one console. I mean, that's never going to happen if they don't do a Virtual Console for the Switch. So I was trying to rank this list from least likely to most likely. This one I don't think is any more likely than the last few, but it's definitely the one that I want the most, and I really, really want a proper Paper Mario game. Thousand Year Door, in my opinion, is the best Paper Mario, and nothing they've done since has come even close to the charm and originality that Thousand Year Door had. The world was just so inventive and quirky, and new weird characters lurked around every corner, and there were so many secrets and oddities. It was just a good Mario RPG. I want them to do the same thing they did with Thousand Year Door. They took everything good from Paper Mario 64 and made it better. They keep trying these new things like stickers and paint, and that's cool, I'm all for innovation, but you don't need to change something when it's already fantastic. There was nothing wrong with Thousand Year Door, and I want them to get back to the roots of the series and give us a proper, true Paper Mario adventure. So that's about it for this list. These are just some games that I would love to see on the Switch, but probably will never happen. If they do...
Yeah!
But you never know, Nintendo tends to do whatever the hell they want, and maybe some of these games like Paper Mario and Bayonetta 3 will actually happen. If you enjoyed that video and want to see more Nintendo Switch stuff, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you liked the video. If you didn't like it, hit the like button anyways. And I'll see you next time with my sick butterfly knife trick tutorial.